Two make or break games for our season today, and we have to do them with a makeshift team because, I mean, who even put this squad together? Hello and welcome to part 176 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have the quarter-final second leg Champions League. That's the wrong way around to say that. Champions League quarter-final second leg game against Schalke. We're 1-0 down from the away leg. It'll be fine. We'll turn that around. They're top of the Bundesliga. We're top of the Premier League for now. We then also play Arsenal in the... we've got them in the FA Cup. Is it the quarter-final of the FA Cup or a semi-final? I don't even know what point of the FA Cup we're at. So apparently we've got an FA Cup semi-final, which I wasn't aware of. So that's interesting. Our reserves will play in that. We want to win these two. Indifferent to that one, although we have never won the FA Cup. So it'd be a nice consolation prize if everything goes wrong in today's video. But we need to play Arsenal in the league as well. Thankfully, they did us a little bit of a favour between last episode and this one. We all had our fingers crossed for a Tottenham win. It didn't quite come off, but Tottenham did hold Arsenal to a draw. So as it stands, we're 4 points clear with 4 games to go. Yes, we still play Arsenal, but after we play them, it's a relatively straightforward run in. As long as we avoid defeat against Arsenal, we should be looking good for winning the Premier League. And obviously a win against them puts us 7 points clear with 3 games to go, and it's all but done. And then we could probably play the first team against them again in the FA Cup semi-final and spoil their... I'm getting ahead of myself. Don't want to spoil... One other thing. We've got a new player coming in. This is Past Kev. If you remember on yesterday's episode, I said that I hadn't played the game for like 10 days. Well, Past Kev had clearly been up to transfer shenanigans. I don't know if he even told you that he had his budgets, but he was given a £37 million transfer budget and a huge wage budget increase, despite the fact that we're massively in debt. I don't know what the board are thinking, but not only did he think, oh, money, 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 spend that, he's gone out and signed an absolute superstar who joins us in the summer, and he's called Thor. It's amazing. Thor Callawert, obviously, now I've shown you him, I'm changing his name to just Thor. He's 6'3", 13 stone 5 pounds, lightning quick, good in the air, good finisher. I mean, I know I don't put too much weight on all this stuff, but he looks like he could be the final piece of the puzzle. Him up front, Mira out on the left wing, maybe, or the two of them up front together. We've signed Thor. 11 goals in 19 appearances for Belgium. He's still only 23. Scored 101 goals in 140 games in Belgium for Club Bruges. We've signed Thor. What a name. Let's give him his nickname now as well, because we're not going to try and learn to say his surname. He's just Thor. I managed to do that wrong, didn't I? No, don't unfollow him. Oh, imagine unfollowing a new signing on social media. He'd be devastated. There you go. Thor. Thor joins us in the summer. Obviously, we might never see him play if we win the Champions League. Although the fact it's now nearly August as I'm recording this video, the more I'm thinking we're just going to run this series through to FM20 regardless. Because I think my cut-off point for realistically being able to fit in a new series before the new game comes out is it has to end this season. If it doesn't end this season, I think we're just going to keep going and just see what happens, because I don't think we can do a series in the time we'll have left. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you've got a 6 to 8 week series that you think I could squeeze in and would work. I mean, one of you must be phoning me with an idea. This is new. Well, that was Kev from the future saying, don't count your chickens before they're hatched again. Just concentrate on winning something first. It might not happen. You're not guaranteed to win, etc, etc, etc. Wise words, future Kev. Right, let's get into this game against Schalke. I've delayed long enough. I'm afraid enough. This is the team that we're putting out there. I wish we had Thor available today, so we could stick a Camo out onto the left-hand side. If you remember from yesterday, we don't have. Where is he? Mira is suspended, and Juric is fit enough to be on the bench, but not really fit enough to play, realistically. He failed his fitness test, but who else are we sticking on that bench? We don't have another striker who can come into the team. Blish, who's been playing for us fairly regularly in the Premier League. He's a wonder kid striker. He's not registered. Mendes, not registered and injured. Mercier, unregistered, out on loan. Rodriguez, unregistered, out on loan and injured. And permanent transfer to Valencia going through now because he's played enough games for them. So, bottom line, we have one striker and it's a Camo. Now, it's not the perfect situation to be in going into a massive Champions League game, because he's scored 4 goals from 26 starts this season. 6 goals from 16 starts in all competitions. We need to win the Premier League, don't we? So we're going with... No, we're not going with Saidi in goal. What was yesterday's Kev thinking about? We took him off at half-time yesterday. We're going with Powell in goal. A back four of Candemil, Beron, Lee and Meyer. Cristiano and Alves in midfield. Zupancic, Costa and Flager all behind Akamo. That's where the goals have got to come from. We need big performances from Costa and Flager if we're going to have any chance here. Now remember, in the first leg, we went down to 10 men after 12 minutes. That's when Mira got sent off. So not only were we down to 10 men, we lost one of our best players as well. But we still didn't get outclassed by Schalke. Although they're top of the Bundesliga, I don't think they'd be top of the Premier League if they were in our league. I think we are a better team than them at full strength. It's just whether we've got enough oomph about us tonight when we've got a bit of a makeshift team out there. We've got a few players playing out of position, or one player, Zupancic, playing out of position. Have we got enough about us tonight to find a way past them? Costa now, trying to conjure something up from midfield. It's a lovely tackle from Meyer to start things off. Akamo, Flager's come inside. Costa's inside as well. So's Cristiano. They were lining up to score there, and it's Cristiano who does score. Less than 2 minutes on the clock. A 6th goal of the season for Cristiano. And, that'll do. Meyer and Costa. Costa was superb there. Plays it a little bit behind Akamo, but Akamo actually does quite well to get the crossover. Comes to Costa, who deserves the assist for starting everything off. Actually gets the assist for him being the one who has the shot that comes back into the path of Cristiano. But 2 minutes into the tie, Holme 1, Schalke 0, 1-1 on aggregate. And it is absolutely all to play for now, boys and girls. We couldn't have hoped for a better start. As long as we don't concede a goal now, then we can calm down a little bit. Obviously, a second goal for us would be lovely. Meyer now in a crossing position. Cross does come in. Schalke are struggling to deal with it. They were not expecting us to start the way we started, and Akamo's in! And on the stroke of 3 minutes, it's 2-0 to Home. This is the start dreams are made of, and we've got them flustered. That first goal was all us. This one is just... they're flustered and they don't know what's going on, and Akamo is in, and it's only his 7th goal of the season apparently. I don't know where that's come from. Must be counting international goals, even though he doesn't play internationally. But it's us again. Still only 6 minutes on the clock. If we get a third here, this tie is over before we reach 10 minutes. Cristiano tries to play the ball into Akamo, doesn't get there, and now Schalke with the chance for a counter-attack of their own. Obviously, if they score here, it's an away goal and everything's flipped back on its head again, and we have a real tie on our hands. If Schalke get a goal here, I'm happy with us getting a couple more and us not having a real tie on our hands. I'm not interested in playing up for the telly. I just want to win a football match. So let's take control of this game even more than we already have. What a start. Cristiano and Akamo both with goals inside the first 3 minutes. Genuinely could not have hoped for a better start than that. And now we just need to be wary, because I think I'm going to drop a little bit of praise just 10 minutes before half time, saying, you know what, gentlemen, that was a good start. Zupancic is overwhelmed by being praised. To be fair, he's not playing very well, so I can understand that. Costa now of a corner just before half-time. Can we grab a third? It falls to Zupancic, who plays it back again to Costa. Costa with the cross. Zupancic! What a goal! If that's what he does when he's overwhelmed, I would like to see him just a regular amount of whelmed. That was stunning. I need to overwhelm that man more often. Look at the state of this. Plays it into Costa, and you think, well, there's Zupancic's involvement over. Comes back to him. It's the world's most extravagant 1-2. And it's 3-0 to Home on the stroke of half-time. And surely we've got 1 foot and like the shadow of our toes as the second foot's arriving in the semi-final of this competition. There's an analogy you've not heard before. We might be winning. Yeah, just don't get complacent. That's what we're trying to say here. Look, I've even got my Home mug today so that I can cheer us on properly. Home mug with a cup of coffee. These are still available, by the way, on Teespring. Link is down in the description, I think. So people sometimes tell me the link doesn't work. Perhaps that's why we've only sold about 4 of them. Perhaps the link doesn't work. If you go directly to Teespring and just search Home, you'd find it. But that's probably a little bit more work than most of you want to do. I can understand that. I wouldn't do that much work. Costa now hits the post from range. I'm going to have a little sip out of the home cup. It tastes better out of this, by the way. Oh, it's delightful. It really does taste good out of a home football club mug. Available from Teespring. I don't know the URL because I think I've got it right. I'll try it. I tell you what, as a treat to you, I'll try and find the link and then you can buy things from me. That'd be nice for all of us, won't it? Beron now plays it forward to Zupancic. Zupancic down the left-hand side. He's having a great game playing on the wing, by the way. We are in need of a permanent winger. Zupancic is making a very good case for himself today. And Akamo has just got another one, and it's 4-0. And we thought we had a lovely time against Roma in the last round. But this is getting silly now because this is a tie that was supposed to be reasonably tight. We lost the first leg here. And in this second leg, we have just, with a makeshift team, I will really emphasise that, with a makeshift team, we have ripped them apart in this second half. Wowzers. Do we even change it? I guess we're changing players just to save them for Arsenal at this point. Why have we only got 6 subs? I'm an idiot. My word, we could have put a kid on the bench. That's what I get for letting the... what's his face choose my subs. I still let my assistant manager choose the subs. You know how I work. Right, Manu on for Costa. Costa's had a fantastic game, but he can sit and rest now. Who else do we need to save for Arsenal? Candemil. Let's get Alith on. Get him into a game like this. Get a bit of experience at this level into Alith. That's going to do him the world of good. Alith now with the throw. Finds Zupancic and it's back with Alith again. And the cross comes in. Flager's there. Akamo was in for a hat-trick. But it's a very good save or tackle. Someone got in there last ditch. It's Mayer with the corner. It falls to Beron. And now Manu picks it up in the wide areas. Back into Lee. Lee needs to get back and defend. Not that that's been much of an issue today, looking at the state of them. We probably need to make our final change. Who else can we save for the Arsenal game? Probably Lee or maybe Alves could probably do with coming off. Get Yamin on for Alves. And just save Alves' tired legs. Ready for the Arsenal game at the weekend. We're in the semi-final of the Champions League, boys and girls. We're not messing it up from here. We're in the semi-final, and we've made it there with bells on. We've done it in style. Does look like Barcelona are also doing it in style against Tottenham in the other game, so they're probably a team to avoid in the next round. But I guess if we're going to win it, we've got to learn how to beat the likes of Barcelona eventually. Zupancic into Manu. Manu plays Mayer in. Have we got time and the audacity for a fifth? Mayer with the cross. The ball's bobbling around in the air. It was almost an own goal from Schalke. And Powell's just giggling at Saidi. Powell knows he's our number one keeper again now. Flager out on the right-hand side to Mayer. Mayer. I thought he was going to play Flager back in, but it's with Manu to Yamin. We're just knocking the ball around like Schalke aren't even there now. It's Alith on the left-hand side. Tucks it into Zupancic. Back to Alith. Crossing position. Cross does come over. It ends up with Flager, who brings it down beautifully. Can't quite get the shot past their defender. And now there's an opportunity for Schalke, but it's snuffed out by Beron, and I think that's probably that. Zupancic is just running down this left wing to run down time. And that is home in the Champions League semi-final, boys and girls. Wowzers. Wowzers with bells on. That was stunning. We've now got the semi-final draw before the Arsenal game, so we'll know who we're going to be playing. We're on for a treble here, kids. I don't want to mention that, really. Let's do the Champions League semi-final draw. Here we go then, semi-final draw. And there's no easy games left, is there, really? Real Madrid, Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund and home. What a lineup. Dortmund are 6th in the Bundesliga. So I guess there's your easy game, because we've just beaten the team who are top of that division. Real Madrid are top of La Liga. Barcelona are 2nd in La Liga. We want to avoid both of those. We want Dortmund here. I don't care whether we're home or away first. We just quite like Dortmund and then worry about those lot in the final. So we're out of the hat first. Right, this is the old tactic that we've used many times before. We just say the name of the team that we want 3 times. Say it with me. Dortmund, Dortmund, Dortmund. But that didn't go to plan, did it? Well, home against Real Madrid in the Champions League semi-final. We were always going to have to play a team like that at some point. When do we play them? How are we fitting all these fixtures in? So we've got Arsenal in a minute. I won't show you the FA Cup semi-final. And then I guess we'll do the Champions League semi-final. Hopefully won't need to show you... If we beat Arsenal now in the league, I won't need to show you in all league games. And then we finish the season off with a Champions League final and an FA Cup final. Bob's Your Uncle series done by lunchtime. Saturday. I've had my lunch today. Couple of changes for the Arsenal game then. Djuric fit enough to come back in on the left-hand side. Only played 75 minutes ago, so Zapancic is on standby to come on out there as and when needed. Mira also available to play following his suspension. Other than that, the other news that we've got is more transfer news. I'll just show you that quickly. If we have a look at players incoming, we've got a deal for Djuric agreed. So I am thinking... we maybe bring Djuric in for £78 million permanently. The only reason I haven't just agreed it immediately is because we've got this guy, Mikhail Ciriello at Liverpool, who's an inside forward on that left wing, which, I like an inside forward, but it's really a decision between taking the player we've had this year, who we know has been awesome for us this year, or the one whose star rating is much better. So I've delayed the decision on Djuric. If we end up having to pick between the two, I might just toss a coin. Which would you do? I guess he makes more sense because he's just better. He's better at everything. But he's been so good this year. Let's see how good he is today. That might help me make my decision. Let's get into the match. Interestingly, when you look at average ratings for the season, Alves is the only one not averaging above a 7. And I know that's because we've been playing him out of position most of the season. Out of position and in a role he's not accustomed to doing as well. I expect to win today. I do expect to win today. A few people have said play him as a ball-winning midfielder in midfield and that will actually make him the cruncher I want him to be. But when he plays as a defensive midfielder, his natural position there is as a deep-lying playmaker. So really I'm just asking him to do what he does further back, a little bit further forward. But apparently he's not as good at it as I hoped he would be. But it's not that he ever lets us down, but maybe we need to just play him a little bit deeper in that midfield to get the absolute best out of him. Candemir with the cross to Mira, and Mira scores 11 minutes on the clock. And as we saw in yesterday's video, the switch to complete forward is doing Mira the world of good. And he started scoring goals at just the right time, because with Thor coming in the summer, we are going to have two very, very good strikers on our hands. And for Mira to continue playing regularly, he needs to continue doing what he's doing now and scoring goals. That is a lovely finish, puts us 1-0 up, and most importantly, as things stand, gives us that 7-point gap over Arsenal with just 3 games left to play. Our fingers are just, they're touching the edges of the trophy that we held, was it a couple of years ago? I think it was it 2 years ago we won the Premier League? 3 years ago? It was a little while ago now, I think. Or does it just seem like a long time ago because of that 10-day break I keep talking about? Flager, back to Mayer. If we can grab another one here, then this has just been a lovely episode. An excellent time had by all. But here's your ball over the top for Arsenal to chase onto. Powell makes the save, though. That's the difference you get from playing a proper goalkeeper. Home will always have a Powell, and Powell has just made a lovely save there. And then, again, just glancing back at Saidi, the beef between those two is very real. Mira coming very deep to get this move going, finds Costa. Costa finds Djuric. Djuric in a crossing position. It falls to Costa. I think that's been disallowed. Cristiano fouled their keeper as the cross came in. But we look very good. We're very fluent going forward now. We had both Candemir and Djuric way ahead of Mira as options on that left-hand side. Costa pushing on beyond Mira as well. We're playing some really, really lovely football at the moment. Djuric now from deep tries to beat his man. In fact, plays Mira in. Mira beats his man and scores again. Bruno Eduardo Mira is a complete forward. Never let me play him in any other role ever again, because since we've moved him to complete forward, he's scored lots of very important goals against very good teams, which is going to be handy when we're playing against Real Madrid tomorrow, because hopefully I think it was only a 1-match suspension he got in the Champions League, but he's all right as a complete forward, isn't he? Arsenal now with the corner, and the header goes just wide, and fingers crossed we don't mess up from here. 2-0 up at half-time in what is effectively a title decider. it would be nice to get things wrapped up in the league so we can focus on the Champions League, because the Champions League is going to be hard. Right, do not let performances drop. Usual thing. Arsenal have brought on a wonder kid. They've taken off an elite winger and brought on a wonder kid. They're still playing a very negative system though. Flat back 5, flat midfield 4. Just the one attacking player on the pitch. Just seems a really negative way to play when they need to. They basically need to score 3 goals in this second half. A draw isn't enough for Arsenal. They need to come here and beat us. And they're playing very negatively for a team that do need a win. You'd expect them to have 3 up top with a man in behind and wingers as they try and push on and get back into the game. Candemil down the left-hand side. Finds Mira across to Flager. We've not seen much of Flager in these last couple of episodes. He's been one of the stars of the season so far, but been a little bit quiet as we've hit these big games. Perhaps not a big game player, but he could prove me wrong in this second half with a second half hat-trick against Arsenal. Or perhaps he's saving himself for Real Madrid. Arsenal have a goal back. We can't blame Powell for it. I love to blame a goalkeeper, but this is just one of those things. If anything, you probably want to be looking at Lee. No, that's Lee, isn't it? Number 5 is Lee. Yeah, he probably could have done a little bit better. The initial shot's gone into him, and then it's come back out to there. So, Lee could probably do a little bit better there. Costa with the free kick. It falls to Beron, and Beron's first ever goal for home. It was a lovely free kick from Costa. Again, left-footed attacking midfielders doing wonders with free kicks for us. Where have we seen this before? Nuhu. Costa is a superstar, but Beron first to react as a centre-back, a loanee centre-back. He's only here for 1 year. We're not going to be able to afford to keep him next year because I'm spending all my money on Duric and Thor. So we're probably we'll try and loan him again, but realistically we're going to need to bring one of the youngsters through. Probably Juranovic will be playing at centre back for us next year. But Beron's done himself no harm at all by grabbing a goal there. And we're going to bring Royo on for Flager, who again very quiet from Flager. And we're going to take off Cristiano, bring on Zupancic in midfield. Zupancic probably feels a little bit hard done by not demand more. I was trying to praise him there. Amazingly, that's focused them. We're 3-1 up against our title rivals. I've demanded more, and they're like, yeah, boss, I'm on it. We need to take Duric off as well. Akemo can come on and play on the left-hand side for the last 10 minutes. Probably should have taken Duric off a little bit earlier, but we won't play him in the FA Cup semi-final. Probably depends how easy with the fitness test, but we want Duric fit for that Champions League semi-final, and I think we've all but won the league here, boys and girls. I'm probably not going to show you another Premier League game now, unless of course we get knocked out of the Champions League, in which case I'll show you the last game of the season the way I always do. But I think it's safe to assume, unless things go badly wrong in these last few games, which as we saw yesterday are games against relatively straightforward opposition, we should have the Premier League wrapped up before we're back for the next episode, where we'll do both legs of Real Madrid and then see what else we've got coming up after that. We're on for the treble, boys and girls. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.